Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm finally back on YouTube after what has been basically 8 weeks of being a complete ghost on YouTube. I'm back, finally we're back in the same old routine, Tuesday and Thursday uploads twice a week. Yeah, basically what ended up happening was that I left Dubai in end of June 21st I think. I went to Romania to see a friend, then I went back to Denmark, saw my family, was a little bit on vacation, went to Sweden to see some clients, went to Spain to hang out with my team, had 2 employees. I flew to Marbella in Spain and we had an amazing week there. And yeah, just never really got around to getting in the groove again and shooting content. But now we're finally back in Dubai. I got back last week and yeah, we're back on the game again. But basically in today's video, what I want to do is I want to break down my rough expenses that I have on a month-to-month basis living here in Dubai, because I know a lot of you people watching these videos are looking to get to Dubai, right? And you're trying to figure out, you know, just like I was before I moved here, like, okay, how expensive is it actually? You know, what are all the sort of costs I'm gonna have to incur on a monthly basis to afford to live here? So yeah, today I'm just gonna break down all the rough expenses to give you an estimate of how much I spend on any given month, so you can have an idea for yourself. Now also a quick disclaimer, these numbers are obviously for me. I do spend a lot of money on certain things that you might not want to spend on, but then, you know, you can always just adjust to your own lifestyle basically. But it should give you a pretty good estimate on if it's more or less expensive. And obviously I have a video as well where I actually show you different apartments at different price points. I would highly suggest you go check that out so you can actually get an example and an idea of how much rent is going to cost you, because that's definitely the biggest expense by far in my budget. But before we get into it, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix. That's a performance marketing agency where we specialize in helping e-commerce brands grow through UGC videos, paid ads, and now also email marketing. And if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would massively appreciate that and it would massively help me out. And if you have any questions after watching the video or throughout, just leave them down below. Anything you want answered, anything you want to talk about, discuss, whatever, leave them down below, because I read all questions and I answer to basically all comments in the comment section. So if there's anything you want to talk about, just leave it down below. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. So the first expense on the list here is obviously going to be rent, and that's for every single one is going to be the probably biggest expense you have on your monthly expense sheet, right? And so my rent every single month is 3,850 roughly. I just rounded up a little bit. But the thing you do need to keep in mind with rent in Dubai especially is that most landlords want you to pay upfront for a year. That's also how you get the best deal, right? So you can even sometimes let's say you find a place that's $4,000 a month, you can probably negotiate it down a little bit. But for most landlords, they want a complete upfront payment for the 12 months. And not only that, you do also have some like one-time off expenses that you need to calculate into this as well. So there's usually a 10% security deposit of the yearly rent, and then there's also a commission fee, which is usually 5% to the real estate agent. So out of pocket when you move here, there's a very large upfront investment that you need to be aware of. So I paid, I mean, it has to be above 50K, I think, including deposit and commission. And then after that, you don't really have to pay rent, but you can always just expense it out over 12 months. And I do think there's some services that actually allows you to pay rent on a monthly basis. So they just kind of do factoring for you and you pay, I think, a little bit of a premium on that if that's easier for you. But yeah, my rent is 3,850 a month. And then basically if we just take the apartment first, then I have obviously internet. I need to pay internet in Dubai is super expensive. Data in general is super expensive. So you have 3 different companies. You have Du, you have Etisalat, and you have Virgin Mobile, or just Virgin, the brand that Richard Branson owns. Those are like the 3 only options you really have in Dubai. So there's sort of like a monopoly on it, you can kind of say. So my internet is $135 every single month, and that is for me to get, I think it's 500 megabyte download speed. Like, it's good internet. You can definitely get a cheaper option, but for me, since I do everything online, I'm on a lot of calls, I just need to have my internet work as good as possible, and I have multiple devices on. Then for me, it was worth it. I think there's a package that's a little bit cheaper than this, but in general, you can expect to pay a lot for data in Dubai. Now, internet, I have a Du, and then phone data, I also have a Du. The reason why why I went with Du, honestly, is just because when you get to the airport, they will give you like a tourist SIM card for your phone. So you have like 1 gigabyte worth of data when you get to Dubai. Because if you come from outside of the UAE, like you're not going to be able to use your phone plan here. I think the moment I touched down, I put like roaming on just to check my notifications. And I swear to God, like 2 seconds later, I got a text message from my phone company in Denmark. And they said, hey, you've already used all your data. And it was like 2 megabytes. And that ran me like $80, I think. So yeah, just a quick tip. Like when you get to Dubai, just turn roaming off. Dubai airport has great free Wi-Fi, but for phone data, I pay $70 a month. And I said I went with Du because that's like the first company you kind of get introduced to. That was just the company I went with because I already have my phone number there, and it was just easier for me. But that's $70 a month for, I think it's like a middle package. I have like 10 gigabytes or 40 gigabytes a month worth of data, which definitely for me expensive compared to Denmark. In Denmark, you can get like a plan for, I think it's $15 a month, and it's like unlimited or something, or maybe the unlimited package is like $30 a month, but then you can get like 100 gigs for $15 in Denmark. So data here is just super expensive, and that's just how it is. Moving on from that, the last thing I kind of have associated with the apartment, you can say, is DEWA. So DEWA is the Dubai Electricity and Water Association, I think it is. Basically, it is what it says on the package. It's water and it's electricity that you pay for every single month. And then on top of that, you also pay a housing fee. So your housing fee is 5% of your total annual rent that you pay every single month. So my total DEWA fee is $230 a month. Now, with that being said though, 205 of those $230 is my housing fee. The remaining $25 basically is just what I pay in electricity and water. So electricity and water in Dubai is actually super cheap. It's just because I pay so much for my apartment, my housing fee is gonna be substantially higher. And so this comes out to what, like $3,000 a year or something, close to that. And it's purely just because the housing fee. I barely spend anything on electricity and water, even though I think on my DEWA app, because they give you like comparisons, I actually consume quite a lot of electricity and water. I don't know how, but compared to like neighbors around, they're telling me I spend more. I spent like worth family of 4 or 3 or something. I don't know how it adds up. Maybe it's because I'm just home all day. But yeah, that's $230 a month. But obviously, if you get a cheaper apartment, your DEWA cost is also going to be substantially lower. Just keep that in mind, right? You're not going to be paying $200+ a month in DEWA unless you get an apartment that's 50 grand a year in rent. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, moving on from like the apartment type stuff, right? There's really only like 2-3 other big expenses I have, like subscription wise on any given month, which is my gym. So I work out in TK MMA Fit in Dubai because that's like a 10-minute walk from my apartment, so it's super nice. I think it's the only gym with a big outdoor area from my understanding. I think that's how they label themselves as well. That's a really nice gym. I went with the yearly plan, so you also pay that up front. A lot of this, like, you kind of pay up front, but my gym is only $55 a month. That's nothing crazy. I think that's sort of standard pricing for a lot of the gyms internationally. In Denmark, gyms are actually super cheap. They're starting to become more expensive, but from my experience with gyms, you know, all over the world pretty much, this seems pretty reasonable. It's $55 a month if you average it out, but you just pay yearly upfront. And then you can also pause it for 1 or 2 months. I could pause mine for 2. I think some of my friends got told they can only pause for 1 month. Anyways, so you basically pay for a year, but you can pause for 2 months. When you go back for summer, for example, then you pause your membership. So it's basically running for 14 months instead. But the $55 a month is just for the 12-month active subscription, you can say. Besides the gym, I have my meal prep company. So I get delivered 2 meals every single day, usually come around 5-6 p.m. that I then eat the next day, and they come 5 days a week from Sunday to Thursday. So I'm basically eating this from Monday to Friday. And then on the weekends, either I'm out with some friends or I'm just ordering takeaway or I'm going down to the grocery store. I'm not including this because it's pretty minuscule. Like on a day-to-day basis, the extra food I get is just like some shredded cabbage to beef up my meals. I get some protein bars and that's pretty much it. Then there's water and stuff. But yeah, pretty minuscule. But my meal prep comes out to $425 a month with their 3-month plan. So I could actually bring this down to, I think, below $400 if I went with a 6 or 12-month plan. But for some reason, I'll only go with the 3-month plans because I always seem to be going out of the country every 3 months or something like that. So it's just what I've done. I use a company called fitbar.ae. From my research, when I just got to Dubai, they were like the by far cheapest company by like a landslide. We're talking like 50% off or more compared to other competitors. And from my experience, at least, it's been super good. I'm super happy with their meals, so I would highly recommend you guys to try them as well. I don't have any affiliate code or anything like that. It's literally just my own experience, and I think I've hooked like 6-7 of my friends up on Fitbar, because I think on average, if we're talking dirhams here, I think I pay 1,500 dirhams a month for my meal prep. But a lot of the competitors will charge you anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 a month for basically the same thing. So massive savings here. They come every single day. You can get like a 5, 6, or 7 day plan. I just went with the 5-day plan, and that's $425 a month, but you do pay that on a 3-month basis, or I do, because I get the 3-month plan, right? So every 3 months, I'll just do one big wire for basically $1,500, a little bit below that, right? And then that's meal prep sorted for 3 months. You can also pause this. I did this while I was gone, and yeah, super accommodating, honestly. The last thing I have on my list here is rental car, because I rented a car 2 months before I left Dubai for summer, because I didn't want to buy a car while I was here. Like I had 2 months left basically before I knew I was leaving for Europe, and then I knew I was going to be in Europe for 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. So I didn't want to buy a car and then just have it sit for 2 months. That made no sense to me. So I rented a car. I used a service called Sell, S-E-L, car service, I think. You can try and Google them up. Super affordable. I got it recommended by a friend and thought they were great. I rented a pretty normal car. I would say it was an MG GT something. I think it's just called MG GT. Honestly, like box standard, like decent car, 2023, 0 miles on it. That was $680 a month, which I thought was pretty reasonable, including insurance and everything else. Yeah, $680 a month. And then gas on top of that is super cheap. If you don't know, we're in the Middle East. Gas here is cost next to nothing, really. Is 1/3 the price of what we pay in Denmark, at least. So what I paid for a full tank was $30. That was all it cost to me, which was, I think, 50 liters. I'm not sure what that is in gallons. I know there's a couple of people here from the US watching, but basically full tank for a normal sedan basically was $30, which seems super, super reasonable for me. And yeah, so basically with all those, so the only expenses I haven't included here are like my protein bars, my water, and then like what I buy on weekends, because that can fluctuate massively. If I'm out with friends on nice restaurants, obviously I will spend way more. If I'm just at home ordering, food from Deliveroo or something, it's not gonna add up to a bunch. But with my rent, with my internet, with my phone data, with gym, with water, electricity, with meal prep, and renting a car, that comes out to just below $5,400 a month. That's $5,375 a month with a car, with filling up a tank. And then if you're not to have a car and you just do taxis, then that comes out to $4,700 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment in the Dubai Marina with a marina view. So obviously you can bring this down a whole lot. Like I found apartments in Dubai that are like $1,000 a month. So you can even shave off almost $3,000 a month off this total spend. And then your total would basically be $1,700 a month, or $2,400 a month with a car, with a really nice car, and you're renting it, right? Like a 2023 model. So yeah, that's basically my total expenses living in Dubai every single month. This is obviously going to be a little bit higher with the stuff I'm buying on weekends and, trips and whatnot. But this is like what I have to pay every single month, no matter what, basically. So I hope this gave you some good insight into, how expensive it is living in Dubai. Obviously you can do this cheaper. You can also do it more expensive, but this is what I spent on any single given month. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'd love to answer. And if you ended up enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because we are back on the 2 video uploads a week now. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.